मेरी आवाज आ रही है? ओके ओके
Yes,
ओके।
sir. We are listening.
So I would like to welcome the panelists of this lecture series, Professor R.K. Brahme sir. Sir is a Dean of the Social Science Faculties, Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Professor Raksha Singh madam. Madam is also from my university. Professor Anand Kumar Utsav sir from the Department of Economics, Central University, Sagar. Dr. Raj Yadav madam from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, JNU, and dear all participants and friends. So I will not take much and more time. I want to request to Professor Lakhwinder Singh sir and to Professor KJ Joseph sir. Sir, please proceed this session. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vikas Kumar, for your welcome address and organizing this very important event on the book Reimagining Innovation System in the COVID and post-COVID world. Professor Bengt-Åke Lundvall, Professor KJ Joseph, Professor R.K. Brahme, Professor Raksha Singh, Professor Raj Yadav, Professor Utasav Anand, dear organizing committee, scholars, ladies and gentlemen, on my own behalf and on the behalf of IndiaLex GlobalX, I also extend you a warm welcome in this session to discuss the book which has recently appeared, Reimagining Innovation System for a COVID and post-COVID world. I think this book
कुछ फोटो ले
is
लेना बेटा, है ना, यहाँ पे हम बैठे
distinctive one, which large number of books has been published this year because of some reasons. One is that the GlobalX community and regional X of the GlobalX have started a very important initiative during the time of COVID-19 when it was in the peak period to discuss about what is going on in the world and how people are suffering and how people suffering can be reduced if the governments of various
उसको
countries of
बंद
the
कर दो.
world or the global institutional architecture could have been worked the way it was expected to work. So this book has generated during that particular period of time a dialogue to understand the changes happening around us in the whole world. And therefore, these scholars from various parts of the world have that how
अब
in
फैन
the
चालू कर दो.
absence of the global institutional architecture which itself proposed to seems to be redundant,
Very good.
but you'll find that the state governments have come to the rescue of the people, and then you'll find that they have conducted a system which was not the way which was expected to happen. So therefore this book captures
तुम्हारे क्लास को लोग नहीं
how
ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं,
global institutional architecture
मैसेज
is to
करो एक बार.
be regenerated, especially through the innovation approach. And Professor Lundvall, who is one of the Dains
ये आवाज क्या नहीं आ रही है? उसमें आ रही है आवाज?
of
उसमें आ रही है आवाज?
consequences the original
एक
we
वो लाओ, मेरा
have
फोन लाओ, जियो से कनेक्ट करते हैं, जियो से.
of observed
नेटवर्क का नहीं चल रहा है यार।
is doing wonderfully well, taking up the issues of research into consideration and discussion and wider dissemination. So with these words, I express my gratefulness to the Indian Research Scholars Association for organizing this function on the discussion for the book Reimagining Innovation System in the COVID and Post-COVID World. So now I request Professor KJ Joseph to say a few words, as well as invite to introduce Professor Lundvall and invite him to speak on the book. Thank you, Professor K.
Yeah. Good afternoon and good morning. Good morning to Professor Bengt-Åke Lundvall. I think we have already taken 7 minutes out from the unscheduled, because it is not there, because Professor Bengt-Åke was supposed to speak at 3:05. Anyway, I'll take 3 minutes. Essentially, to say 2 points. First is we are conveying our great appreciation to Indian Research Scholars Association.
Thank you.
And this is an indication of the manner in which they conduct. I'm very happy that Indian research and Indian research scholars have a very excellent future. And second is, I'm extremely happy that they have been able to line up 4 eminent faculty members to discuss this book, and I convey my appreciation to all 4 of them. And thirdly and finally, I would like to take this occasion to very briefly do an extremely difficult task of introducing Professor Bengt-Åke Lundvall, the founder of the Global Network of the Economics of Learning, Innovation and Competence Building Systems. We call it GlobalX, which is today is the most vibrant network of innovation scholars in the world, having its regional and continental chapters. For example, it has got its called Asialix, African chapter called Africalix, Europe chapter called Eurolix, Latin American chapter called Lalix, North American called Naclix, and of course we also have the 2 largest countries in the world. India has got Indialix, which is led by none other than Professor Lakhwinder Singh, and we also have China chapter of Indialix of GlobalX called Sicalix. I'm very happy to note that this particular network has in fact was instrumental in evolving the concept of innovation system, which is articulated at the level of economies called national innovation systems, subnational called regional innovation system, at the sectoral called sectoral innovation system, and today we articulate what is called in the open world a global innovation system. Of course, innovation system is a concept that could be articulated at different level. It is not a theoretical, it's not a theory, but it is more like a paradigm. And Professor Lundvall is a professor at Aalborg University. He now is the emeritus professor over there. And he has been one of whom I think the most inspiring academician through his highly cited books and articles. And most importantly, his sense of equity for women, gender equity, which we strictly adhere in our GlobalX network. And we have a GlobalX scientific board, and I was the former president, currently the Secretary General of the network. And we have 50% men and 50% women. And more importantly, his commitment towards global south, particularly in health capacity building. That is precisely why he, in a short notice, agreed to join this particular session. Professor Bengt-Åke Lundvall, I know that I have a limitation of time. So on behalf of all of us, all those who are online and offline, we most warmly and respectfully welcome you to this gathering, and we would like you to, as the chief guest of this function, I would like you to deliver your address. Over to you.
Is it me now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it was. I think it was a great idea by Professor Lakhwinder and Joseph to start this project within GlobalX, and I see it as one of the most important outcomes of coordination within the network. And I was honored to be invited to write a chapter for the book. And what I'm going to do now is to give a very brief introduction to the main ideas in that chapter. I see COVID-19 was terrible. I mean, it had awful consequences for people all over the world. But at the same time, it was kind of eye-opener. It revealed some characteristics with the system, which gives us reason to revise and rethink both theory, history, and politics. And innovation system concept has all these three dimensions. First, I would say that COVID-19 can be seen as a kind of stress test of the current world system, including the global production and innovation system. It was a test if the system, is it fit to tackle the future problems emerging in this era of Anthropocene, including global warming. And I think the test result is negative. It demonstrates fundamental system deficiencies. At the same time, COVID crisis also tested national systems of health, production, and innovation. And many national systems failed to cope with the epidemic in an acceptable way. I think also it's important to note that some of the trends which were there already in the world economy were accelerated by the COVID crisis. One was deglobalization of manufacturing. We had seen that trade in global value chain had actually started to stagnate already around 2010, but it was strongly reinforced by the COVID, and we see a lasting impact in this effect. But at the same time, and sometimes people forget that, we got another kind of globalization where international trade in digital services grew quite rapidly. Another thing was that we could already see before the crisis intellectual monopolies playing a dominating role in the world economy, like Big Pharma in Europe and the digital tech giants in United States and China. And it reinforced, the crisis reinforced this dominance. No single enterprises grew as rapidly in terms of stock value, etc., as a digital tech giant. And at the same time, it intensified the technology war between the United States and China, something which had also started before the crisis. And it's important to note that in both these big powers, political leaders regard artificial intelligence as a key to economic progress and security. You might even say that they think it has something to do with who will have world hegemony. When US responds so aggressively to China in these areas, it's because they think it's crucial for them to stay in the lead. We can say that COVID revealed several global contradictions. First, you can say it foreboded what happens when nature strikes back. We have had a long history of exploiting nature in order to create wealth, and COVID, in a sense, illustrated how that might create few problems in the future. It also demonstrated that global inequality reflects more than anything else different strengths of national innovation systems. Countries with weak systems became more deeply sacrificed during the crisis. At the same time, COVID-19 demonstrated the limitations of national action when it comes to cope with what is truly a global crisis. And it's obvious, for me at least, that we need new forms of global governance. And as far as I can see, I see no alternative to the United Nations system. Now let me say in my 3 last slides how I think we should reimagine innovation system. This is of course not complete, but it gives you some ideas what need to be done. In innovation system analysis, we often make the distinction between SDI and DI mode of innovation. And it's between science-based and experience-based modes. And both are important. But I think artificial intelligence means that it in a sense comes as overlayering these modes. Machine learning has been defined as an invention of a method of invention. And perhaps we need to think in terms of AI mode, artificial intelligence innovation mode. This has also to do with how artificial intelligence changes the role of interaction. At the core of innovation system thinking is that people interact, users interact with producers, etc. Now what's happening is that people become a kind of guinea pigs who deliver data through their actions and choices. I was thinking that Freeman he referred to the factory as a laboratory. You can say in a sense that artificial intelligence makes every day as a laboratory. When we come to the historical, I think the most important thing which happened is the catching up of China and the consequences for dividing the world SDI system, and also how this polarization in two different zones slows down the necessary green transformation. It also made visible what I call the polycrisis, where different crises intertwine and reinforce each other. And finally, I see the contradiction between the enormous potential of artificial intelligence and the current real world disorder and the lack of focus of AI on social and economic problems. Finally, some words about the policy and politics. I think in the light of the COVID crisis, we need to reassess intellectual property right and antitrust regulation. Big pharma and tech giants has harvested enormous rents globally on the basis of privatized intellectual capital. We also need a global redirection of the development of artificial intelligence so that it offers solutions to social, ecological, and human problems. Finally, and most fundamental, we need to try to work towards formation of a global civil society and organizing it as a democratic foundation for new forms of global governance. I would like to refer this to something like globalization from below. And I see actually the global network Global X as a contribution, and I see the work now initiated by KJ Joseph and the other leaders within Global X to become important contribution in this direction. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Lundvall, for your highly valuable input that summarizes the whole issue of how the innovation system has been, required to work, and the kind of contradictions which are existing in the world, and especially the idea of globalization from below, I think is quite substantially in consonance with today's discussion organized by our young scholars. This is a promising kind of issue which is quite important, that changes and discussions which are taking place from below is very important, and globalization from below will give us equitable distribution of the resources as well as of the opportunities. So with these words, I express my gratitude to you for your very lively and intellectually stimulating presentation. I hope several questions will be asked towards the end. So with these words, I would like to invite now Professor R.K. Brahme, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, to make his brief presentation as given in the or suggested by Vikasji in nearly 10 minutes, something.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Lakhwinder ji, and please allow me to share my slide. Just a few minutes.
नहीं नहीं
So is it visible, sir?
Not yet, not yet.
Yes, so it will take a little time.
No, it is a flat screen, but not visible. Your slides are not visible. No. So first you open up the file on your screen.
Yeah, I have already opened it.
But then share that will allow us to see these slides.
I have already shared, but I don't know what happened to it. Might be some issue with my laptop.
No, not at all. But what you do is that open up your slides, then minimize them, and then click on the screen for share screen, and then you click on your slides. You will see the full file.
That all I have already did, but
So first,
now I am stopping it again.
yes.
Again, I'm sharing. This is your slide. That's key. Please share.
So your screen is visible. The only thing you should go to the other presentation file.
Yes. Yes, it's a visible. Make it a full screen.
Now
yes
visible.
yes
Okay.
yes
Yes, now visible. Make a full screen.
Okay.
Left side.
No, you have again stopped. Okay, you have not clicked. You have clicked the.
Okay.
Yes, now click
Now
on
fine,
the.
now fine.
Yeah,
Done.
now
Okay.
fine.
So, okay. So, extremely sorry for little trouble.
All right.
Nice slide. So, first of all, I would like to thank Vikas Kumar for
Thank you, sir.
means organizing this event, which is very, very important event to discuss a book which is a very important books for contemporary world and contemporary issues which the global economy is facing and countries are facing. So, which is, as we all know, written, edited by Professor Lakhwinder Singh and K.J. Josephji. So, as the tone of this discussion is already means Professor Lundvall has already given a very thought-provoking his ideas, and he writes a chapter also in this book, and so when Vikas Kumar sent me the soft copy of this book, so from that day I am I'm going through the book, and I have this book with me, and I think it is visible to you all. Is it, sir?
Yeah.
So I try a little to go through with this book, and I point some important issues, and in what different what's 17 articles in this book, and they have written there. But I basically I will focus on the part one of this book, which is part one is challenge to innovation system in uncertain times, which consists of some 4 or 5 chapters. So as we all know, and Professor Lundvall already said that this is the about the devastating effect of this COVID, and how it devastated the global economy and the national economy, and its and life of the people also. So, and this book is also focuses on innovation system that address the health and socio-economic inequalities in countries, and some I think 6 case studies of 6 countries which comprise of developed and um, uh, and developing countries, and some countries from Africa also taken in the study. So, uh, the important thing is about this book is that in this book is elaborated that how COVID has exacerbated the global challenges of inequality and unemployment and monopolization of technology by a few international corporations, with Professor Lundvall already mentioned. This book also sheds light and important because that how technology plays an important role in addressing all these issues, and also one of the findings of this book is this, that the material well-being is separate from mental health of humans and environment, and how the technology divides has been at the root of the variation in recovery of different countries and global economy as a whole. And this why this technology divide, and how this technology divide is reinforced by global governance systems also, and how the technology divide would ultimately be harmful to the catch-up process by the developing countries. So in this note, I would like to mention what Professor in first chapter, Lakhwinder Singh and Professor Joseph has mentioned in his chapter 2, that, which is the innovation system and the COVID-19 crisis. So they mentioned in this book, in this chapter, that there are multiple global challenges faced during the COVID and after the COVID-19 crisis, and they have suggested an alternative approach to innovation system to take the world out of the current crisis and prevent the future crisis from occurring. And particularly Professor Lundvall, based on the emerging global realities, that is income and knowledge inequality, and the transformation of the world economy and the political order and power of the technological monopolies, has argued that there is this strong use of re-examine and reimagine innovation system to tackle the global challenges, and is taking example from the history of the technological revolution. He has explained how the uneven development of the technology and the national innovation system played an important role in shifting global leadership. So this book is divided in this three parts, and as I have earlier mentioned that I will restrict myself to the challenges to innovation system in uncertain times, only part of one. So this again. So in part one, this is in chapter 3. If you see in chapter 3, which is written by Raja Rashi, and the chapter is uh, Raja Rashi is beyond the COVID-19 pandemic, and in his chapter, he's mentioned that the inequality between the countries, between the economies, has material in this. This is the figure I have taken from his chapter, and this figure shows there's the death of the people because of the COVID-19 and the GDP per capita. So he shows that the the material well-being and this COVID death have no relation. It means that the fatality rate of because of this COVID-19 is almost equal in uh, developed and developing countries, and less developed countries and medium developed countries. So he focuses that there is a zero statistical relationship. He find out that there is a zero statistical relationship between material development and the COVID-19, and and he find that also there is a very zero statistical relationship between death and the GDP per capita also. So it demonstrates that the death arising from the COVID-19 infection have not been a function of the material development of countries. So this is very interesting finding. He mentioned in his article, and this the evidence he put in his article that that demonstrates that the
फोटो किसके वाले में
COVID-19
खींचे थे?
infection
फोटो
and the death have not been influenced
बोल दो कि
by
भेजो मुझे,
material
देखूं मैं.
development, or which is very much clear here, of GDP per capita levels, and also how government react to the pandemic must important, suggesting that innovation need to be socially constructed. He very importantly point out in his
फोटो भेज
uh,
दो मुझे व्हाट्सएप.
in his article, and then he that the it means that he point out there is so many inequalities and social inequalities also, and environmental and health. He again given some this this is another finding in this book by by Claudia.
जुड़े
Claudia
रहना है ना.
given a fatality
हाँ.
rate, and this is very clear, which strengthen the thesis of earlier thesis of Raja Rasi, which very pointed out that this material well-being is not associated with this COVID pandemic. So in fourth chapter is Claudia has pointed out this thing, and he says in his chapter that the rate of his chapter is basically focusing more on the role of the four elements, And the first element he mentioned in his chapter, that the knowledge and the capacity of each country to rapidly respond to the external shock. This was the first his his mm, first thing he mentioned. And the second is on the existing system of innovation that is repressed by a set of organization and the interaction among to address social challenges. I think he pointed out in his
फोटो के लिए बुलाया
paper. And the third, the capacity to design and implement science and technology innovations policy that respond quickly to complex challenges and consider the inclusion of multiple stakeholders, in particularly of vulnerable communities. And the fourth one is global connectivity and the need for coordination between public and private organizations at both national and international level. So it highlighted the several international organizations that science, technology, and innovation are the only solution to the existing problem. In his paper, he he presented this figure also, figure 4.2, in which he has given a picture of share of the people fully vaccinated against COVID-19 versus people only partially vaccinated. This country-wise, he presented this figure, and so
There is some problem on the line.
Maybe it seems to be. I think he's disconnected. So
hello
Vikasi, we can move to the another one.
yes sir, yes sir. I think there are some network issue, so
He
sir has also
was
left it,
connected.
so I think now we can invite to
Now
next.
I think I can invite now Professor Raksha Singh, Professor of Economics, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak. You are welcome, Professor Raksha, and you can share your slides and
Yes,
make
sir,
a
I have
presentation.
already shared. So,
Yes,
good evening to all of you. It's really a privilege and pleasure to discuss about the book of Lakhwinder ji and Joseph ji, and that too. On the cherry is also given to me because Lundvall sir is also present here. This is about my presentation. Whether my screen is visible, sir, now?
yes, visible.
Okay. So, very beautifully, all the aspects have been covered, and Lakhwinder Singh ji and Joseph ji is famous for every of the every details they have covered in this the essays, and as all the research scholars has also be a part of this book discussion and review form. So there will be few things I'll be covering according to the book, and few things I would like to add from my side, Lakhwinder ji and Joseph ji, if you allow me.
You are allowed. You are
Please
allowed.
feel free.
She is also disconnected.
Oh,
Yes.
no, no, sir, no, sir. Madam is here.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Raksha madam, your voice is not coming.
Perhaps the video could be switched off so that your data consumption.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Hello, madam.
She is also disconnected, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. I think I'm calling.
Okay.
Hello.
Network.
मैम. हेलो. हाँ मैम, आप डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए हैं.
I know.
हाँ मैम, ज्वाइन.
Can we switch to the next speaker?
Yes sir, sure sir. I think Professor R.K. Brahme sir is here, so if he want to say
She is
something.
available, and
Yes, yes, yes.
I think he has to and the question now after Professor Raj Yadav, Center for Russian and Central Asian Studies, JNU, to make a presentation. And
Okay, yes sir. Okay sir. हाँ, राज मैडम.
you unmute, I think.
Raj madam, can you listen us?
Please unmute. You are muted, I think.
ओके. हाँ हाँ, ओके 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 मैडम, ओके मैडम. हाँ हाँ, ठीक. हाँ राज मैडम, आप सुन पा रहे हैं हमें? हाँ, राज यादव मैडम. Raj Yadav madam, can you listen us? So no problem, sir. I think Raj madam. Hello. Hello, Raj madam.
I think her speakers are not working, so that is the problem.
So no problem, sir. You invite to Professor Utasav Anand ji, and after that,
Okay.
we will be, yes.
Professor Utasav Anand, former head department at University Sagar, he can make a presentation. Welcome.
थैंक यू सर. मेरी आवाज आ रही है विकास जी आपको?
Yes sir, and
तो
Professor,
मैंने प्रेजेंटेशन
Lakhwinder sir, I think Professor Utasav Anand sir will be present in the bilingual or in the Hindi. So thank you.
Okay, but I think we have a Professor Lundvall who will not be able to understand Hindi.
Yes, he will be present bilingual, sir. Okay.
All right.
ठीक है विकास जी.
Oh yes sir. Okay sir.
आवाज आ रही है आपको?
हाँ, your voice is
It's
clear.
no problem for you. I think you should speak in in
Hindi.
your own language if you
हाँ
Right.
prefer that.
थैंक यू
Please,
सर, थैंक
go
यू,
ahead.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
शुरू है
हाँ आनंद सर, आप
विकास जी?
स्टार्ट करें। हाँ हाँ, आप प्रारंभ करें सर।
विकास जी, हाँ ठीक है। हिंदी भाषी क्षेत्र तो हिंदी पर थोड़ा सा ज्यादा फोकस है। तो सभी को एक बार फिर से नमस्कार, और प्रॉब्लम जो भी है जैसे ये बुक्स है रीइमेजिनिंग इनोवेशन सिस्टम इन द कोविड एंड पोस्ट कोविड वर्ल्ड। कोविड से पहले और कोविड के बाद में क्या इनोवेशन जो हुए, जो राइटर जिसके हैं लखविंदर सिंह जी के जोसेफ, क्योंकि मुझे जो बुक्स जो है वो ऑनलाइन मुझे मिला, सॉफ्ट कॉपी मिली, और कुछ मैंने कोशिश की अपनी। तो ये जो बुक्स है वो 3 पार्टों में जैसे डिवाइडेड है। तो पहला जो पार्ट है चैलेंजेस ऑफ इनोवेशन सिस्टम इन अडसेंट टाइम, इसके 4 आर्टिकल इसमें जो हैं। और सेकंड जो पार्ट है इसमें रिस्पांस ऑफ द इनोवेशन सिस्टम इन द कोविड क्राइसिस, इसके 5 चैप्टर। और क्रिटिकल on innovative innovation policy in the context of COVID-19 crisis, 7 चैप्टर। तो जो मैंने बुक की समीक्षा जो रिव्यू की बात करते हैं तो कोशिश किया है। और मैंने सेकंड पार्ट जो है, जो चैप्टर 6 जो शुरू होता है, उसको मैंने थोड़ा सा उसका एनालिसिस मैंने किया है। और क्योंकि हर चैप्टर का जो भी है उसमें एनालिसिस जो लिखा है वो काफ़ी तो कुछ उसमें क्या है, कुछ पॉजिटिव भी है और नेगेटिव, दोनों तरह की बातें उसमें देखने को मिलती है। तो जैसे कि पहला चैप्टर है उसमें जो मैंने देखा उसमें कि कोरोना वायरस जो है चीन वुहान 2019 से, और वहाँ से शुरू हुआ और पूरी जो दुनिया में वर्ल्ड में वो स्प्रेड हो गया पूरी देश में। और इसका जो इफेक्ट जो देखने को मिला इकोनॉमिक पे, चाहे हम इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट की बात करें, हम सोशल एस्पेक्ट की बात करें या साइकोलॉजिकल, ये हमें देखने को मिला। इसमें बहुत सारी जो संस्थाएं, वर्ल्ड की संस्थाएं, जैसे WHO की बात करते हैं, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जो इंटरनेशनल मॉनिटरी फंड, इंटरनेशनल लेवल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, वर्ल्ड बैंक, सभी ने इसमें क्या प्रयास किया। इससे क्या है, हम देखते हैं इफेक्ट देखने को मिला। तो हम एम्प्लॉयमेंट की हम बात करते हैं और हमारा इनकम है उसमें लॉस देखने को हमें मिलता है इस चैप्टर में। साथ ही हम इसमें देखते हैं कि जो हमारा वर्ल्ड का जो ट्रेड था, मतलब है ना ट्रेड और करते हैं, वो भी उससे इफेक्ट हुआ। उसमें हमें क्या है डिक्लाइन, मतलब कमी देखने को मिली। जो वर्ल्ड में जो ट्रेड की बात करते हैं, टेबल दिया है उसमें 3.5% वर्ल्ड का ट्रेड मतलब रहा। सप्लाई चेन है उससे क्या इफेक्ट हुई इसमें देखने को। इसमें फिस्कल पॉलिसी एंड मॉनिटरी पॉलिसी बड़ा पॉजिटिव इसने रोल अदा किया। फिर भी वो जो देखने को मिलता है वृद्धि देखने को नहीं मिली। ग्लोबल जीडीपी जो है, जो अगला उसमें जो रोजगार है उसमें कमी देखने, एम्प्लॉयमेंट में कमी देखने को मिली। ग्लोबल जीडीपी 3.3% जैसे टेबल में दिया था। पर इंडिया की हम बात करते हैं, भारत की बात करते हैं, उसमें जीडीपी में हमें क्या ग्रोथ देखने को मिली। ग्रोथ मतलब 6.6% थी। इनोवेशन हुए, साइंस के क्षेत्र में इनोवेशन हुए। पर साइंस क्षेत्र की बात हम बात करते हैं उसके साथ तो हमें क्या है, सोशल जो सेक्टर है हम उसकी भी बात हमें करना चाहिए थी। और इसमें हमने जो कंप्यूटर की थ्योरी, इनोवेशन थ्योरी, इसमें काफी कुछ उसका हमें देखने को मिलता है। विकसित जो देश है, डेवलप्ड कंट्री है, वहाँ में क्या है जो इनोवेशन हुआ है, साइंस में इनोवेशन हुआ, उसमें हमें ग्रोथ देखने को मिलता है। पर अंडर डेवलप्ड जो कंट्री है वहाँ पर क्या है फ्लक्चुएट रहा, मतलब उतार चढ़ाव देखने को मिला। 7 जो चैप्टर जो उसमें है, उसमें हमने है ग्लोबल की हमने बात किया, नेशंस की बात किया, नेशनल की बात किया, हमने लोकल, ये सब इसमें की हमने, जिसमें इस चैप्टर में नेशनल जो राष्ट्र की हमने बात किया और लोकल जो हमने बात किया उससे ज्यादा इसमें जोड़ दिया गया। जो एक चैप्टर की हम बात करते हैं, एक चैप्टर, तो उसमें अफ्रीका की जो बात की है एक चैप्टर में, क्योंकि इसमें ये भी देखने को रहा कि जो कैपिटलिस्टिक जो इकोनॉमी थी और उन्होंने जो वैक्सीन बनाई थी तो उन्होंने अपनी वैक्सीन का उन्होंने पेटेंट कराया था, पेटेंट। तो कहने का मतलब था कि उन्होंने क्या है, जो हमारे जो गरीब देश थे, तो गरीब देश थे उनको उन्होंने ध्यान में नहीं रखा। जैसे जो टेबल पॉइंट 8 पॉइंट जो 1 टेबल है उसमें हम देखते हैं कि जिसमें बात किया नॉर्थ अमेरिका जो वैक्सीन है उन्होंने 128, यूरोप जो है उसमें 82 की बात होती है, एशिया एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया 95, साउथ अमेरिका 14 की बात है, अफ्रीका जो क्लिनिकल स्टेज एंड कमर्शियल की बात करते हैं तो नॉर्थ अमेरिका 36, यूरोप 40, साउथ ऑस्ट्रेलिया एशिया और ऑस्ट्रेलिया 16, साउथ अमेरिका 1 और अफ्रीका 0। तो अफ्रीका जो देश जो हम बात करते हैं किस कारण से उनको लॉस हुआ, क्योंकि जो विकसित देश थे मतलब कैपिटलिस्टिक इकोनॉमी थे तो उन्होंने उनको पेटेंट करा लिया। और इसमें जो देखने को मिला कि जो वैक्सीन बनाने वाली जो कंपनी थी उन्होंने ज्यादा अपने प्रॉफिट पे ध्यान दिया, प्रॉफिट पे कि किससे ज्यादा प्रॉफिट हो, जिससे क्या जो वर्ल्ड में जो अनइक्वलिटी है वो देखने को मिलती है। उसमें जो नेक्स्ट चैप्टर है उसमें हम देखते हैं कि जिसमें एक बड़ा नोशन नया टेक्निक से जो टेक्निक से उसमें परिवर्तन है, जिसको हम ग्रेट या वर्ल्ड रिसेट के रूप में देखते हैं। रिसेट मतलब दुनिया क्या पूरी तरह से चेंज हुई। जैसे बहुत सारी चीज इसमें है, जैसे पीपी किट की बात करते हैं, फेस मास्क की बात करते हैं, ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर है, हॉस्पिटल है, आइसोलेशन बेड है। इसकी क्या ग्लोबल जो डिमांड है वो इंक्रीज हुई, इसमें देखने को मिलती है। जो हमारी पॉलिसी हो रही थी पॉलिसी उसमें क्या नेगेटिव इफेक्ट देखने को मिला इस चैप्टर में। थर्ड जो चैप्टर है
रक्षा सिंह मैडम हैज रिजॉइन अगेन,
उसमें हमने क्या पूरा फर्म की बात किया, फर्म पे फोकस किया। जो चैप्टर आपका 10th चैप्टर इसमें इसमें जो मेन जो दिया उसमें क्या है, फर्म का उसका सेल की बात की हमने, उसके रेवेन्यू की बात की है।
अभी आपका
सेल और
सही
रेवेन्यू
दिखा
की
रहा है, मैंने
उसमें
चेक किया
बताते
है।
हैं कि उसमें क्या हमें क्या है डिक्लाइन
हाँ, तो बस जस्ट 2 मिनट बाद आनंद सर के बाद में आपका होगा, रक्षा मैडम उनका सॉरी राज मैडम को बाद में देखेंगे।
साथ ही उसमें पॉजिटिव चीज एक रही कि डिजिटल मार्केट है
5-7 मिनट में
उसको इसको बढ़ावा मिला, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर इसको बढ़ावा मिला, डिजिटल
मैं लखविंदर
कम्युनिटी
सर
को
को
बढ़ावा
बोले दे
मिला।
रहा हूँ, कर देंगे
जैसे वर्क फ्रॉम होम की हम बात करते हैं।
मैं बोले दे रहा हूँ।
और इसमें ये भी बताया कि जो फर्म जो कंपनी ने डेवलप गाइडलाइन है उसका जो पालन किया वही फर्म मतलब आगे ग्रो कर पाए, और बाकी क्या है जो फर्म थी वो उन्होंने उतना ग्रो नहीं कर पाया क्योंकि उस गाइडलाइन का पालन उन्होंने किया। तो कोविड के समय सबसे ज्यादा रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट पे ज्यादा से ज्यादा खर्च हुआ। तो मैंने जो एनालिसिस जो मैंने किया मतलब देखा, मैंने जो चैप्टर में मुझे लगा मैंने देखने लगा, क्योंकि मैं समीक्षा कर नहीं सकता। और बहुत सारे ऐसे डिजिटल हम देख के चलते हैं, डिजिटल लोगों ने किया, कोविड का इफेक्ट देखने मिलता है कि डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी में काफी परिवर्तन देखने को मिला। लोग ई कॉमर्स, टेली मेडिसिन, दूर दूर से जो भी है हम ऑनलाइन क्लास भी लेते थे। लोगों ने इसमें क्या है जो हेल्थ और वेलफेयर दोनों पे ज्यादा से ज्यादा इसमें ध्यान दे, इस पुस्तक में था कि उनमें ध्यान दिया गया। कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर उसमें भी परिवर्तन देखने को मिला। ऑनलाइन जैसे है वो अपनी जो सर्विस है तो प्रोवाइड मतलब जो करते थे उनसे लेते थे। इसमें हमने देखा कि जो है जो हमारा वर्ल्ड का जो कोऑर्डिनेशन की बात करते हैं, विश्व में एक सहयोग की भावना की बात है, वो इसमें देखने को मिलती है कोविड के बाद में कि उन्होंने जो हमारी विश्व जो है पूरा एक होने की बात हुई। इसमें मैंने चैप्टर देखा क्योंकि मैं एग्जाम उसमें था, क्या कहते हैं इलेक्शन, मेरी आज ट्रेनिंग थी और विकास जी से मैंने बोला कि विकास जी मैं टाइम नहीं दे पाऊंगा। मैं अंत में इंडियन रिसर्च स्कॉलर एसोसिएशन कोऑर्डिनेटर विकास कुमार, उनका मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि आपने मुझे मौका दिया। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, Professor Utsav Anand, for your thought-provoking presentation. Now, I think Professor Raksha Singh is available, and we would like to listen to her. Professor Raksha Singh.
So because of power cut, I think at that time network was not there, sir. Sorry for that.
Okay.
So I don't know when like you were not able to see my presentation.
From the very
so
beginning, you have to start. From the very beginning, you have to start.
Okay. So it is all
not
actually
visible.
the book has very wonderfully covered all the aspects, like what we faced at that time and what is required for our future, because there are many things we are like going towards new technologies, but with that we are not taking care of the renewable energy and the green energy. Every time, just to make more profit, we are choosing that path which give us more profit, and technology wise
तुम जा रहे हो क्या?
we are wasting and we are creating
तुम्हें एक क्वेश्चन
dumps.
पूछना है?
Yes,
पूछना
somebody is asking.
No, because you have to mute.
No. Okay, sir. Okay, sorry, sir.
You have to mute. Okay.
So, every state and market, they'll have to change themselves according to the need of the current requirement of the world. And it is very well, there was a Paris Accord in 2015 to convert things in the renewable energy. All youth are connected in this presentation or the book discussion. So how we faced which country have taken initiative at that time. Like there were two major things to control at that time: the integrating their healthcare innovation systems along with vaccination at that time, and like the ensuring the social distance and lockdowns, so that we all can be safe, because it was very new to us and nobody was knowing that how we will face or address such challenges and situations. Costa Rica, one city in Latin America, they have given a very good results at that time. Like the country is, this city is very small, and they were having only one doctor with 1,000 persons, but they have their results at the time of COVID was very good, very less fatal was there in this country. And because of its universal health care, because it spends higher proportion of GDP, that is gross domestic product, than the organization economic cooperation of development, the OECD says there is much to praise about a system that delivers higher life expectancy than any other OECD nations. So one should follow this also. And South Korea has also given a very good, they have followed each and everything at the time of COVID pandemic, and the fatal in their country was also very less. So it gives us the eye opener to everybody. One thing was mentioned in the book about the beggar thy neighbor policies, because what country was doing at that time, because of their own national intents and their collective well-being, they were not cooperating with other countries. So sometimes we criticize this policy, but according to my view, one country should equip themselves fully, then they should go and help others. It is very well, like whenever we fly in aircraft, they always announce that first take care of yourself, then go to the country. But collective wellness is very necessary. Then only the international bondings and the national bondings will really go high, and economic growth will be possible. We all believe that after this pandemic, it is given in the book, like very beautifully, the chapters which both the sir have covered in this give the whole picture and give like the light, like how, and the kindled one idea that how we will innovate and how we will
हेलो
face such type of situations if in future
मैडम,
also we'll
देखिए
be
ट्राई करिए,
facing,
जुड़ जाइए,
because
क्योंकि
one or
3
the
लोगों
other
का हो गया,
problems
आपका
will
बस बचा
erupt,
है.
because the mother earth, whatever we are giving to mother earth, she will give back to us. So if we'll do good, like if we'll
हाँ हाँ
go into the green technology, she will return back the same thing.
नहीं
So
मैम,
we will
उसमें
have to
गूगल
speed up, of course, the applications of AI,
गूगल मीट तो
and
उसमें तो जीमेल से
we'll
जुड़ता है
have
ना,
to
तो
increase the
क्योंकि उसका
intellectual
कोई
capital, so that with that innovations we'll be able to face any situation, and will not be looking at each other that how these issues will be addressed. And in one chapter about the scissor effect and voluntary underdevelopment was like taken into consideration. This voluntary underdevelopment is what we have to innovate, because we are underdeveloped, because voluntarily we have underdeveloped, because we are not developing our innovation, and we are not going towards technology driven things. And if we are going to that also, we will have to like incorporate the green things in it. Green technology will be real savior for us in future also, as we all see the like the global warming, the temperature are increasing, and if all youth will come forward, and if they'll contribute, definitely now and after this also we'll be able to handle all the situations. In one chapter, the pillars have been mentioned about the material development. Like this is real chronological order, that the material development is important for economic growth. Then they have given the priority in that suitability, pillars of suitability, environment and ecology, health and social equality. But in in the discussion of in that chapters, it was very nicely mentioned that environment should be our priority and ecology. And if environment and ecology will be good, of course there will be less issues in the health. And gradually, like if health, environment and ecology is good, definitely the material development will be there, and we'll be able to progress. And the social equality comes after this only. So it's a model, but like the different concept is also given in that book, which is really I can say eye opening for us. And like the COVID situation in that book, it gives this picture that in future, like you might have see this newspaper clipping of like the Sri Lanka government has started giving 4-day week. It's a 2022 news of June, because there were crises regarding the fuel and the crops. So the Sri Lankan government has asked their country persons to be in their house on Fridays also, and they must start producing the crops in their own houses. Like this also gives one alarming situation that like in Sanskrit we say anne madhasein manisha, without crop where the like the human being is not able to survive. So we must concern about the agriculture crops. There are many pesticides all are using, so it should be organic, because finally it will affect our health. And there were two the bigger cases of love canal tragedy in Niagara Falls and the Malwa region, Punjab, because the cancer patients have increased like anything. And so like at the end I can say, sir, I'm giving my lecture in a very crisp form, because already I have like taken much time because of the network issues. So there should be some small steps we must incorporate, so that there can be a significant changes. In this book it was mentioned that we'll have to manage all waste we are creating, either it will be in a form of electronic medical waste or our own house waste, that is the garbage what we are creating, because everything is adding more pollution. And because of that, at the time of COVID, the situation was different, but these are also creating many diseases, contagious diseases, which must be controlled. And there were many ideas, like the innovation was there, the cloud kitchen. The Kerala has given a very good example by starting with the help of government and local groups, and they ensured that there should be a hunger-free meal at the time of COVID, and still they are practicing the same thing. Because if the person is fill their stomach, they'll be able to work more. And for all these things like the reimagining innovation, we'll have to concentrate on all these things, that we'll have to develop our skills so that the renewable energy, the green technology should be more in the overall world. And because of this only, we'll be able to survive in future also. And these are the expectations from the new generation and from all, that community services is really required. We must go for the agriculture practice. And because the COVID has taught us a lesson, and because of that learning, we must incorporate in our daily life. And this book, I must congratulate again the Lakhwinder ji and Joseph ji for giving this book to the whole world, because it's really an eye-opening for all of us, so that we can rethink about the innovations and incubate the ideas. Because in the young generation, we'll have to incubate these ideas, that how they can produce the things by taking green technologies, and we must motivate them for that. So thanks for the patient hearing. Thank you, Lakhwinder ji and Joseph ji.
Thank you very much, Professor Raksha Singh, for bringing out the key lessons that from the book, and highlighting the major issues that you think are very important for all of us to take it up. So it is very innovative presentation. I think we have now Professor Yadav with us, Raj Yadav.
I think Professor Raj Yadav,
Yes,
madam.
sir.
Okay, madam.
Is here. So please,
Yes, sir. Sir,
you can go ahead. Now
there
we
is
are able to listen to
actually
you.
power cut, and
All right.
yeah, but I will not be able to share the PPT, but I will go through it very fast.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
I'm
That's
connecting
nice.
it with my PowerPoint, this one, with my laptop, but it's not being getting connected with my smartphone.
All right.
So, sir,
All right.
good evening, everybody, and it's been really an honor, to be one of the panelists, to discuss great book edited by Professor Lakhwinder Singh and KJ Joseph. And of course, it's been a, you can say it's been a collection of, very good chapters, very thoughtful chapters, and of course, it's going to be an insightful for scholars, for who has of course the interest in risk management, who has interest in knowledge economy, who has interest in innovations, and of course everybody, because we are not aloof of crisis. So of course I will start this my presentation with these two sentences, that being challenged in life is inevitable, being defeated is optional, and together we can do great things. So of course challenges will come in our life, and they are inevitable, but of course we are not going to be defeated. That's optional. We will come out of successful. And COVID has made us see that this is what is the crisis, and COVID is not the new one. It's been like centuries we have been observing crisis. But recent COVID pandemic has taught that challenges are inevitable and the solution lies in dealing with uncertainties and crises like COVID pandemic by overcoming through solidarity and perseverance. And this academic contribution by, of course, by Professor Lakhwinder Singh and Professor K.J. Joseph is certainly admired by the intellectual community and policy formulators. And what I believe is that this book is certainly going to act as a bridge or as a catalyst in connecting, resolving crisis in coming future as well through innovation, and also tries to emphasize, this book also tries to emphasize the significance of knowledge economy and how knowledge economy has a major role in achieving world's development actually in true sense, along with managing crisis and reducing its impact to its minimum. So, as this, this book, of course, it's been written by one of the best contributors. So, this book by Sir, edited by two of the eminent professors, Reimagining Innovation Systems in COVID and Post-COVID World. Of course, gives us something, you can say food for thought, so that, of course, how, innovations and how the significance of the knowledge economy and what are the basic challenges that are still there. And of course, we need to be prepared for the uncertain times. So this book has been divided into 3 sections, of which the initial section deals with the challenges, which is again very important. So the challenges to innovation system in uncertain times. Professor Lundvall, Raja Rasia, Claudia, Swati, and of course Lakhwinder sir has tried to bring out the status of innovation system. Okay, its challenges. Of course, it's and also mentioned the 4, and also try to emphasize that they need to bring a balance, support, and of course, during COVID times, is the whole economy, and of course, dealt with Asia in particular. In the first, then this moves to you can say the second section, which deals with responses, basically, because since we have challenges, of course, we need to respond to the challenges. So responses of the innovation system in COVID-19 crisis. Of course, the contributors are again prominent Professor Joseph, Professor Sachin, Rasigan, Sujit Bhattacharya, and Nandita Matthew. They have tried to bring out the responses by the state, of course, by the non-state actors, even at the firm level, and also dealt with, what is the significance and the relevance of the integration in order to deal with the crises and the uncertainties like COVID. Then, of course, this book moves to the third part. That's basically, the country specific. So in this, the third section discusses about the critical perspective. Okay, it's on the innovation policies, in which Professors Rainer, Professor Helena, Jeffrey, Dinesh, Glenda, and Professor Joseph and Lakhwinder sir, they have dealt country specific, of which Germany, of which Brazil, Costa Rica, India, and of course South Africa and Kenya, and how, and of course discussed in details, how these countries has dealt, with this COVID pandemic, with the policy implications. So basically, what I want, that of course this book is definitely going to act as a guide, in order to make in order to make our economy resilient, of course, because this kind of crisis, this kind of uncertainties, of course, takes a huge toll of economic growth, and of course, economic development also, gets a big jolt. So in a way, this book, of course, is going to be like a, you can say, sort of a guide, and you can say, even if, in coming times, if we, like, professor has discussed that, it will try to bring out the regeneration, it will try to bring out the collaborative efforts, it will also help in bringing up the resilient approach. Okay. And of course, this is also going to show that what is the significance of global innovation. Okay. And not only global innovation, as Professor Lundvall said, that there can be monopolization of innovation, but even the rural sector, even the sectoral, even the global, you can say, global north south debate, that also comes, and try to sit together, try to collaborate, so that in coming times we all can deal with this kind of upcoming crisis. So again, I would like to congratulate all the contributors, and also Professor Lakhwinder ji and KJ Joseph sir, for bringing out this volume. And I feel that this kind of more volumes can be it should be encouraged. And as like Professor Raksha has mentioned already, that there are few things, so even I have observed some, so I would like to just put it that it is very important that there has to be a balance between nature and, of course, the economic growth. The more we are moving away from the nature, and we are looking at only economic growth, that is in numbers, of course this kind of crisis and this kind of pandemics keep coming, and we need to really be resilient, so that we can overcome this kind of crisis and uncertainties that can come up from time to time, as we are observing, like sir has already said, the poly crisis. We are already witnessing environmental disaster. We are witnessing the pollutions. We are witnessing even the negative impact of technology on the human being's health. So in a way, there are areas in which we need to really consider, in which nature has a major role to play, and in which we can say that even the rural areas has a major role to play. I can just cite one instance, that during COVID times, when we were all having vaccines and all, so I came to know that there is a tribal area in Orissa where it was considered that the typical indigenous food they were having, they were not having this kind of COVID-19 infection. So basically, and there are many other tribal areas even in northeast, and even which is closer to, you can say, even in Bihar and some Uttar Pradesh, where people who were involved in manual works, who were also working as a laborers, they had less instances of COVID-19. So I just want to say that so far, in order to achieve economic growth, we cannot ignore economic development in real sense. So in a way, we need to really balance it between economic development that should be real, so that it will be sustainable, and we can also provide what sort of, we don't want this kind of atmosphere always, always be in a, always be in a risk that, we cannot touch, we cannot meet, we cannot have a, we need to wear mask. So the thing is that we need to really, have a balance with the nature. We need to go back to our, you can say, techniques like yoga. We need to go back to our techniques, or you can say our food culture, food habit or
हाँ मैं
culture,
अपने रूम में बैठा
so
हूँ
that
हाँ
even if not only COVID-19, even if,
क्या करना है
upcoming crises or uncertainties,
हाँ
if they come up, we will be in a position. And of course, I would like to say that, there has
हाँ
to
हाँ
be,
ठीक है हाँ,
collaborative
ठीक है दे
approach,
दीजिए
so that if a country is in a condition to manufacture vaccines, we will be able to, provide vaccines to, other countries also. So again, I would like to congratulate sir, and it's a beautiful concept and it's a beautiful book. Thank you so much. And sorry for the hiccups that, we had
All right.
with the technology. Thank you so much.
no
Thank
problem ma'am no problem
Thank you very much, Dr. Raj Yadav, for bringing out the major features of the book Reimagining Innovation System in the COVID and post-COVID world, and your innovative ways to make a balance between nature and the development processes which we are having with us, and the new technologies can be used to harness sustainable development. That is a very important and innovative ideas. Thank you once again. And now I hand over the, after all the presentations, I hand over mic to Professor KJ Joseph to conduct a discussion, and then say some concluding remarks he will be able to present. Professor KJ Joseph.
Thank you, Professor Lakhwinder. I must say that we had a highly enlightening afternoon, starting with Professor Lundvall, who set the tone by highlighting what he contributed, his contribution to the book, followed by Professor Brahme, Professor Raksha Singh, Dr. Raj Yadav, and Professor Utasav Anand. I felt that each one of them have indeed assimilated, understood, and articulated the main contours of the argument that the different authors have presented in the book. And in fact, I also noted the manner in which they have assimilated these problems in the current context and the worth of the contribution to the days ahead, and in the context of perhaps averting a future crisis. I think it was an eminent, it is a highly illuminating discussion. I must congratulate all of them. So now the floor is open for a few questions, and you may please raise your hand and ask your questions in the language of your choice. We have a wonderful co-chair who will be translating all the questions to the benefit of all. I can also try, but nobody will understand if I translate. That's the only problem.
okay so any yes anyhow yes Papi Haldar.
I think Professor Brahme would like to conclude. I think there was some connection problem while you were talking. Since Professor Brahme is here, I would like to give him 2 minutes to kind of wrap up what he really wanted to highlight? You can just wrap. You may start, please.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Dr. Sir. What I want to say that look on current situation of the global economy, and there is a technological race between the US and China, and we know this technology is the driver of growth, but this is a very long-term process to invent a technology and to replicate in a growth process. So in the meantime, what countries are doing, the short-term strategies they are following, they are inviting FDI and believe that when FDI will come, it will with the FDI technology will also come. And they are investing in for attracting FDI, they are investing in infrastructure. So this is the short-term objective of like what India is doing is not investing much in technology, but we have very much at the time of COVID we have and that result was vaccine that time we have. And so what my point is, there is it's a huge technological divide between countries, and because of this divide, there is other socio-economic divides or health and environment. Also, these are all great concern of today's world. So this book is a wonderful book on technological innovation and how they are changing and how we will use this technology, and we must have a not only national technological institution. We must have a in this book. Someone has suggested that a global. I think Professor Lundvall has suggested that a global technological solution must be there. Institution must be there, global, and the low-income countries must have easy access to that also. So this is very, very difficult, because what we are seeing, what you have their findings there, that the developed countries are not much taking part in environmental issues. So this is very big challenge. And so this is my question. This is my submission also, to how to face these challenges that global economy is now facing.
Thank you. I think you have, in fact, when you said that the world that we live in at present is one with so many divides, and the innovation system scholars believe that the mother of all divide is the knowledge divide. And that knowledge is, in fact, as I'm quoting Professor Lundvall, in fact, it is knowledge is the most important resource of the modern economy. And if knowledge is the most important resource, the most important process is no more manufacturing, no more mining, no more agriculture, but it is learning. So I think if you want to really address this particular, many of the divides could be addressed if you address the fundamental problem of knowledge divide. That is precisely what the innovation system scholars advocate across the world. Thank you very much. I think you really captured, you really highlighted that important point. Thank you very much. Now, any questions from the floor? Professor Lundvall? Yeah.
Papi Haldar is waiting for.
I want to ask. Professor Lundvall, would you like to take, because you have listened to all of them, if you would like to say a few words, Professor Lundvall?
I think there was somebody raising their hands.
Hi. Okay, there is a. It's not a hand, it's my icon.
Papi Helder.
Yes, Pipa, Papi Helder and Rifa Atik.
Oh, okay. Okay, Papi, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon, respected sir, madam, and all the participants. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Lakhwinder sir, K.J. Joshi sir, and Lundvall sir and all the panelists sir and ma'am for such a wonderful session. Basically, I have come to know a lot about the reimagining innovation systems in the COVID and post-COVID world. Sir, I am Poppy Haldar, research scholar from the Department of Commerce, Lucknow University. Sir, I am an international student. I am from Bangladesh.
Oh.
Sir, I have a simple question. Just I have listened carefully what you have discussed, and I have come to know a lot about the reimagining innovation systems. Actually, sir, one question is in my mind is that, sir, the probable solution would be that right now is the green technology. But, sir, green technology often may lead to additional costs and also some environmental damages. So my question is that how the young generation can cope up with that challenges to implement this innovation system.
I think I will ask Professor Lakhwinder Singh to answer all the questions, and only he can answer all the questions. So
No, I think this question must be addressed to Professor Lundvall.
Okay.
He can justify.
Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. Yes.
Professor Lundvall, but yeah.
I think innovation has a great role in tackling global environmental challenges. And some of it is of a more technological kind. I mean, getting new sources of energy like wind and solar, transforming the use of energy with a greater role for electricity, building systems which create and distribute in an efficient way electricity. But I also think, and I think Yadav spoke about that, it's also, and also another of the speaker, by the way, it's a question also about organizing things differently. The institutional setting, and sometimes very low technology might be important starting points. So I think we need to look both at the very much most advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence, and the most elementary technology and organizational change related to recycling of different resources. But it means that my starting point is to have a very broad definition of innovation. It's not reserved for advanced technology or high technology. It's about finding new ways to organize basic activities in society. In relation to Professor Brahme's reflection on globalization and knowledge divide, one of the worrying things, I think, is that the kind of increasing role of geopolitics means that sometimes you slow down enormously the spread and diffusion and use of technologies which are already mature and which could make a major difference in the short term. This has two sides. It can be the kind of unwillingness to use technologies coming from China, but it can also be the other way around, kind of property rights regimes slowing down the diffusion of good technologies. So I think we need to look at both sides. But all in all, I must say I have learned a lot from this discussion, and I would like to thank very much for Professor Kumar from Indian Research Scholars Association, and I want to wish you all good luck. I can see, I visited your website, and I can see there's a lot of young scholars involved, and I hope that you will contribute to this phenomenon of globalization from below, that you should connect with young scholars from other parts of the world and try to change the world in a direction so we can tackle the future global challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
There was one more hand which was I'm looking. I'm now in search of that lost hand.
Ripatik.
Ripa? Hello. Papis.
Rifa, you have to unmute.
No, I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Firstly, thank you so much, sir. All the teachers here, thank you very much for such an informative session that we are just going on. Thank you so much, everyone. And congratulations, Lakhwinder sir and KJ Joseph sir, for such a informative and good book that you both have written. Thank you, sir. Sir, I am Rifa Tabassum, doing my PhD from Aligarh Muslim University. Sir, my question is that as I am doing research in women studies, it's a subject, only a part of political science. I am a student of political science, but my research is on women. So the question is, did COVID-19 uh, inflicted women? And if it does, then what strategies we need to take in order to deal with such uncertainties in future? As we are proceeding and we are in a stage of artificial intelligence and AI, as well as at the same time we are moving towards globalization to in a speedy pace. So, is any need of further research and work on women so as to protect these minorities, we can say, in a better way? Sir, so kindly enlighten us with your views, sir.
Rifa, that was a wonderful question.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think the ideal person to answer this question must be sitting behind Professor Lundvall, Professor Birte. Mrs. Professor Lundvall is a world authority on gender studies. So, but having lived together, I'm sure Professor Lundvall should be knowing any day better than anyone here to answer that question.
Yes, sir. So, please.
Professor Lundvall, over to you. I don't know whether...
I'm not an expert on gender studies. My wife is a professor in gender studies. And of course, I have had a lifelong privilege to learn a lot from her. And she has actually recently written a chapter on a gender perspective on the environmental crisis. And I think it's, it's quite obvious that the gender division of labor, which we find in many countries, make women more aware and in a way also in a more strategic position when it comes to tackle issues like the climate crisis and the relationship with the natural world than men are. The question is, of course, how women can organize themselves to become actors in both in local, regional, national, and global dimension of changing the world in a more sustainable direction. I know there are several interesting case studies and ideas and histories of such initiatives. And perhaps I would like Rifa
Yes.
to tell me what she thinks about this, and we could end by that.
Rifa, what do you think?
Yes, sir. So, thank you for asking me. As it's a privilege for me to share my views in front of such high dignitaries as you all are. Sir, I think that we should make specific strategies which should be women oriented in order to deal uh, in a better way with such natural as well as man-made uncertainties or disasters sometimes as well, because it was a disaster also, we can say it will not be wrong if we say that it was a disaster, as it converted into a toll of a numerous amount of people. It covers a big toll in that sense. So I think that proper implementation of policies by the government is important, number one. And number two, education. Providing a good quality education about these uncertainties and and the importance, and highlighting the importance in front of uh, in front of women, in front of the administration, everywhere we need to work on it. We need to emphasize on the importance of having uh, better strategies, equipment, so as to decrease the probability of uh, having women more prone to such problems. So these two are my ideas, sir, Bangtech, sir. And the other thing which I really think it should be channelized in our society, in India as well as in other countries. Maybe they are much better working as we are developing and they have developed. So there is a gap, but still we are working on bridging that gap. But still, I think that third and last is women should keep this thing in their own mind. Self confidence should be there, that we should know the things in a better way so we can deal it in a better way. So this is the last thing, sir, which I think is important, very much important, because self determination and uh, self-worth is very important if we talk about women, because usually what happens is when we go into the society and we get involved as women in different household, in our household work and in everything, then we just forget that we are also a person who should be protected, who should be safeguarded. So very important is that there is a need of self worth and self confidence as well, sir. So this is, I think, sir, it should be.
I think
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I think that was a nice ending. Now I guess Joseph and Lakhwinder will close the meeting, okay?
I think, Rifa, you could not have been better articulative in your answer. Very, very well articulated. Of course, we generally feel that, you know, you highlighted the issue of being gender sensitive at all times, particularly when it is more so when you are confronted with these kind of catastrophes. You know, that's wherein in a given kind of our societies, women, they're being weaker for reasons which is obvious. They need better protection and they need better, the sensitivity is very important. No need of, I don't want to say use the protection. I think with this time for us to, because I think this is time for us to kind of conclude. I'm not going to conclude in any way. The point of, I mean, it was marvelous discussion, and the whole idea of the book from the globalist community at the peak of the crisis, we did a 2 days conference, a meeting, where
3 days
many more scholars from different.
Hello, Professor Joseph.
Because of his persuasion with the colleagues, we could bring scholars from almost 14 countries, if I remember correctly, and this and a picture was given here, and the whole idea was, we don't believe that this is just happened at a particular juncture of history. The catastrophe occurred at an important, crucial juncture of our history. We had nearly 40 years of neoliberal reforms, which of course gave some rich dividends. Of course, it gave prosperity. Unfortunately, that prosperity was not shared equally. And that is what you said, the divides, including gender divides of all kind increased, and that at the root of it is actually the knowledge divide or the capability divide. And we found that this cannot be delinked from the institutional architecture that governed the present world. And we wanted to have the scholars collectively made the case for changing the appropriate change in the global, national, and subnational institutional architecture if you are to avert such catastrophe in another pandemic of this time. And we have, I think we have made some kind of future pathways. I felt that our really the magnificent discussions of the book, they did a remarkable job of taking the agenda of much beyond that we anticipate, we presented, and we really congratulate them for that. And we, I think, as Professor Lundvall said, the Indian Research Scholars Association, you did this task of bringing us together, and you have to work for a new world which is much more equitable and much more sustainable, much more livable, and much less hostile to the environment, at least. This is so. I'm very sure that this is a wonderful initiative. From my side, I wish the Indian Research Scholars Association all the best in all your effort, and I thank all the participants, and especially I put on record my great appreciation to Professor Bengt-Åke Lundvall. With these words, the final word can come only from Professor Lakhwinder, my dear friend. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Joseph, for conducting discussion in a very dispassionate manner and giving opportunity to young scholars and especially the females for raising fundamental questions. And I'm highly impressed from the younger generation, especially the Indian Scholars Association, for asking very innovative questions, and those questions are challenge the widely held thinking, and new answers are required to be provided. And I think that they are thinking being, and they will enlighten us while bringing out very good or excellent PhD thesis. And from this discussion, they can learn a lot, and they can reflect while they are doing their own research and taking some of the ideas from this discussion to their own respective departments and circles where they have been interacting. That is very important. So my congratulations to the Indian Research Scholars Association for taking this initiative and conducting this discussion in a wonderful manner. And the four speakers, along with our guest of honor, Professor Lundvall, devoted a lot of their time in preparation, and we have learned a lot from them. We are highly thankful and grateful to them for sparing their time and enlightening us and encouraging us to do more such kind of volumes and ask other sister or the Globalix regional chapters to bring out the regional experience in a more detailed manner. That was the original idea, which perhaps struck somewhere. And I think Professor Joseph should encourage each regional X to have a such kind of conferences and bring out such kind of volume. So I'm grateful and expressing my heart uh, felt thanks to all of you, and now requesting Ashwini Kumar to propose formal vote of thanks. Research scholar Ashwini Kumar.
Thank you very much, sir. It's an honor, of course, honor, uh, for giving me the chance to thank those dignitaries who are like I really can't even imagine. First of all, congratulations, sir, Professor Lundvall, sir, and also the editor, Professor Lakhwinder, sir, and Professor Joseph, sir. Big congratulations, sir, and thank you to giving us a really thought imagining book that. Reimagining innovation system in the COVID and post-COVID world. Uh, on the behalf of this organization, Indian Research Scholar Association, I am Ashwini Kumar, thanking you all, and including chief guest of our today's discussion and the writer of the book, Professor Lundvall, sir. Thank you very much, all three, sir. And also my big gratitude toward the panelists, including my own guru, Professor Raksha Singh, and guru, my Professor R.K. Brahme, sir. And of course, Dr. Raj Yadav, madam, and Utsav Anand, sir. Thank you very much. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, sir, for joining us of this session. And I also want to thank the organizing committee, uh, or also the congratulate that making this program very successful. Of course, the coordinator of the program, Mr. Vikas Kumar, and convener of the program, Ganeshi Lalji, and co-convener of the program, Sakshi Singh. She's a research scholar, BHU, in the Department of Education. And of course, organizing secretary, there's a two women, as we were discussing about the women empowerment, and the last question was raised, Subhangi Amle and Aarti Devi, sorry. Thank you very much. for being the part of this program. And of course, Naina Prasad ji and Papi Haldar ji, the member of the organizing committee. Thank you very much. And all those who has joined us this program, big gratitude to all of you. Thank you very much. And again, the thanks, a big thanks and बहुत धन्यवाद sir with bottom of my heart, Lakhwinder sir and Joseph sir and Lundvall sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Joseph, sir.
Where are
Thank
you
you,
from?
Lundvall, sir.
Which university are you doing PhD? Rifa is in which university?
Sir, I am Ashwini Kumar. I am from Indira Gandhi National Tribal University.